We extend to you our sincerest gratitude for being here today, through your prayers, your words of sympathy, and many expressions of love. Like us, you are still in shock and disbelief that we're even here for Joe's funeral. All of us know, whether we want to admit it or face it, that death is a part of living, part of life. But when that death comes so suddenly, so unexpectedly, those who survive, who love that person, kind of feel robbed of the opportunity to say goodbye, to tell a person how much we love them and what they meant to us. Today I speak not only as a priest trying to offer some words of comfort to all of you, but as a cousin who loved the cousin he has now lost. If we are all feeling that shock and sadness, we cannot begin to imagine what you, Aunt Mary Ann, and you, Taryn, are experiencing. Aunt Mary Ann, Joe is your only child. Being an only child myself, I know the relationship and the love you had for each other. He could drive you crazy at times, right? But I know you were always there for him. You always had his back, and he had yours. You and Uncle Sal put everything that was in your heart into his, and you helped to make him the loving, the caring, fun-loving person he was for all of us. And Taryn, you are and were the love of your father's life. You have always been the living presence, the daily reminder to him of the love he had for your mother. And for you and Dan to name your first child Camille must have made him so happy. While Joe was an only child, I don't think he was ever really lonely. He stayed close with all of us in this church. We feel that especially as his cousins. He had a large collection of friends, from grade school, high school, and even friends in Florida. Even friends with professional baseball players and rock and roll stars he drove as a chauffeur. I always remember the night that Michael, Mark, and I joined Joey for an Eagles game. On the way, he said, "You know what, guys, I have to make a stop to pick up somebody else." And the person was Bobby Rydell. Joe loved to bring people together, especially his cousins, and his favorite place, his idea of fine dining, friends and pizza. He had an amazing way of keeping in touch with so many friends. Even though we lived far away in Florida, he was more in touch with friends in Norristown than some who live right here with one another. And Taryn, when you decided to pursue your dream to work for Disney, your dad was happy for you, but he wanted to be where you were. So he gave up living back here among his friends and family to be near you, and he made Florida his new home. But now God has called him to another home. God asked him to go on another journey, to the eternal home God prepared for him from all eternity, the home Jesus spoke about in that gospel. Why now, we ask? We still needed him. Only God knows why. Death is never convenient, never the right time, never wanted. God has his reasons. Reasons we cannot understand, but we must trust that they are always for our ultimate good. Good that those of us left behind cannot see or understand, but only trust that in God's good time we will. But here's something we can hang on to in the meantime, and that is the reality that love is eternal. Our bodies have a limited lifespan. We return to ashes, but not love. Love cannot be confined to a little box. No more than Jesus' dead body could be confined to a tomb. Jesus' resurrection, which Joe became a part of by his baptism, his christening in this church, is a reminder that death is just a passageway into eternity, where love lives on, but in a new and more powerful way. Joe has gone with God, with his dad, with Camille, and so many others who loved him and preceded him in death. That love, that concern that he has for all of us, he brings to God. Imagine that face to face, he's saying, watch over them, Jesus. Guide them, Jesus. Help them to know I'm still with them in their hearts, in their memories, in their laughter, and in their tears, until we meet again. In that second reading, which I intentionally chose for this funeral, St. John reminded us, see what love God the Father has bestowed upon us, that we are called children of God. They're consoling words that you, Aunt Marianne and Taryn, need to hear. If you're wondering how Joe is he okay? Is he loved? Remember, he is God's child before he became your son or your father. Like all of us in this church, Joe was not perfect. Like all of us, he had his faults and his struggles. But he's in good hands, loving hands, forgiving hands, the merciful embrace of Jesus. It should be consoling to know what his final act on earth was. You know, it kind of summarized, I think, his life. Just a few hours before his death, you may have heard this, Joe accompanied Aunt Marianne to the clubhouse of the condo development where they lived. There was a karaoke night going on. And of course, without much encouragement needed, Joe got up and did what he does so well. He sang, he entertained, he had people smiling and dancing. For a moment, forgetting their troubles, and maybe he his. While Joe can understand our tears, I think he would want us to do what he did, to bring joy and happiness to others with our love until we meet again. And so today we come to a crossroads for Joe, but really for all of us as well. For Joe, it's a crossroads from this life into eternity. But we know he still and forever has a place in our lives. But we who remain are at a crossroads too. How will you live without him? How will you go on? And for this, I'd like to conclude my words with this little poem called A Choice. You can shed your tears that he has gone, or smile that he has lived. You can close your eyes and pray that he will come back, or you can open your eyes and see what he has left you. Your heart can be empty because you can't see him, or you can be full of the love he shared. You can remember him only that he is gone, or cherish his memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, or you could do what he would want. Smile, open your eyes, love, and go on loving others as he did. The choice is yours. Lord, in the end, help us to see beyond the horizon of this life and into the next, and to be courageous, joyful, and hopeful as Joe was in his belief in the resurrection of your Son, Jesus, and ours as well. Eternal rest grant unto my cousin Joe, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon him. May he rest in peace.